There's a boy that's Nebuch, all around and around Yassim. He lost his father and mother, and he was a teenager. He became homeless. Terrible story. And now, so who's going to be Makazakim? Other people felt, I don't know if I want to take him in. He's like a street boy, not a thug. He's a little more idler than a thug, but he found his friends, the Loy Miley, They took him in and they stick. They were involved in illegal stuff. So he wouldn't do that. If it's illegal, he don't want to have to do with it. But the problem is that's the only last resort. They took him in one night, and he took him in for a week, and the kid said, so he cried to the Boy Shalom. My father's probably so depressed up in Shemaim. I mean, it's beyond disappointment because here he tried so hard. I can't do it to him. But Rabbi Shalom, I don't have where to live. If I should go to the non-Jewish drug addicts or whatever shelter or something, and they'll beat me. I don't know what to do. So if you can give me that, I can support myself and buy myself an apartment, like say $500,000. They told him you can buy a two-room apartment, a dining room, living room, and a bedroom, and a kitchen and toilet. So if you can give me that, then I wouldn't have to look for a place, and then I promise you I'll go back to Frum World, the yeshiva, the shul, and everything. So David to help. Somebody found him, and he was Motzachain, and he found favor in his eyes. He says, "Come to 47th Street, in Manhattan, the Diamond District." And he slept in there. What should he do there? Clean the toilet, clean the floor. The lady didn't come today. Oh, fine. And then he became a shikingel, very geschicked. They shicked him here, they shicked him there, they shicked him all. And then he taught the Indian how to become a trader and to become a salesman. And he saved up a few dollars and he bought himself a tiny little something and he went and sold it. And like unofficially. And his boss said, "Oh, that's up to nice. Oh, you're getting the hang of it over here." So and he started to deal with it and he slowly became a salesperson. It turns out he was pretty good at it. And when he came to salesperson person, so he sold, and he made it up to $500,000. And then he realized, I promise, but you know what? $500,000 is it can be so lonely that it has to have a partner. I need another 500 to be the partner, sort of. And when he had 1 million, he needs another million. So the whole deal that he made with the Rebbeinu Shalom, Hashem kept his deal. He didn't keep his. So and then when he had 2 million, and it was I don't know, he didn't have it in a bank. I don't know. He didn't have the cash either. He had it by him, and so his friend that he made, a new friend, also a salesman from a different store in that same diamond district, tells him a little slippery slope type of person. And he tells him, "Look, I have a great deal coming up now. I'll put my money plus your money with 2 million. You're gonna strike rich. You'll get millions from now on. You'll be able to open your own store." And guess what? He fell for it. The guy took the money, calls him back a week later. So did it go through? He said, "Through what?" He said, "What? I gave you 2 million bucks." "What do you mean 2 million? You gave me? I don't even know who you are." "What do you mean? I'm the next door. We were sales." He doesn't know him. There's no documents. There's no nothing. The kid's now he went to the guy that helped him, to transfer the money. He said, "What do you want from me?" "I told you not to trust him. You don't trust people with such amounts." You can see he was a teenager. He was about 20 years old. He didn't know better. He lost everything. Now he doesn't have a place that he wanted to that's for sure, commit suicide. So somebody saw him and somebody said, "Look, uh, if if you're too depressed to come into work and you can't do your work anymore, yeah, you have to get it. You need a new scenery. Maybe go to Israel, go to some yeshiva." And he told him there's a Balshuvi, who's going to take him in? There's a place they're taking people like from guys that went off, and you say, and there's a very nice rabbi, such a warm, kind-hearted person. I'm telling you to fall in love with this rabbi. I'm telling you, he's going to be the father you don't have. So he listened, yeah, and he took his last money, bought himself a ticket, traveled to Israel, and then he had a few dollars he thought he'll use for a taxi. And he changed those few dollars, and then he bought himself a SIM card and a drink and this and that. He didn't even have money to go to Yerushalayim. He had the rabbi's number, he had the telephone number and the name, but that's it. So he went outside, he's going to flag something down. So it turns out a rabbi came. It took his meshulach or somebody. He took somebody to the airport, And by mistake, instead of going up on the ramp to departure, he went by mistake to arrivals. And this guy was flagging him down. So he opened his window. Where do you have to go? He says, oh, I'm going to try and sit, come sit in. He put his suitcase in the trunk. He put his handbag in the trunk, and he sat in the front seat. When the rabbi's talking to him, he sees clearly a tzibrochen, a broken-hearted kid like Mamish and Gansen. And he tried to pick up his mood, and it wasn't really working. But he slowly but surely there was traffic, and he had a whole hour to get to know the person. And he told him his whole story, how he was a yosem all alone on the street and kitzur. And he tried so hard to stay away from illegal, Maisima Deloy Miley, and with the friends Deloy Miley, and but he struggled, and then finally he made his money, and he didn't keep his side of the deal with Hashem, and he lost everything, and now he didn't want to live. He was so broken, and therefore he was upset at himself, and I amount to nothing, and nothing can ever come of me. I'm just a failure, and the kids. So why'd you come to Israel? They told me there's a rabbi's name. This rabbi by the behind the wheel is actually the rabbi. Hashem sent him to arrivals instead of departure because he's actually the rabbi that this guy has on his paper with the number. So he encouraged him to call. He says, I can't call. If he would only look at me, he would never accept me. He probably had nobody as bad as me. This is like I'm so low now. I can't function. What daven? Where daven? Nothing. But the rabbi says, "But give it a try. You already did, you took the big leap and jumped and you came to Israel. That's very courageous of you. And please make the phone call." And he budged him and he nudged him and he cajoled him and finally he persuaded him to make the phone call. And he makes the phone call, and whose phone rings? The rabbi right sitting side by side. And the rabbi picks up and he says, hello. And he says, hello. Is that you? He says, I'm letting you know that you're accepted in my yeshiva with open arms, with such admiration, appreciation. And the boy is like, that you're talking to me, right? He says, yeah. He said, don't you see that Hashem sent me to the airport? I wasn't supposed to come here. And I took, I by mistake went to arrivals in that departure so I can meet you and you can call me and I can accept you. He became like his father and the Bach. So Hashem says, Dirshu Hashem bihimotzoi. Seek out Hashem. He's right next to you. He drove up to pick you up. Customized. He's so close. Just believe.